Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Hope you enjoyed the sun a little bit. So before we get started, I would like to cover a couple quick notes. Number one, the calendar for the week. So today we're going to talk about percentile, which is a pretty fun and useful statistics topic. Um, Tomorrow we're going to have a quiz on statistics. So that's going to be on combinations, permutations, and percentile ranks. Don't worry, I know you're just learning something today, but I think it's manageable enough to where you'll be able to do it on a quiz. Um, if you don't feel comfortable about it, we can talk. Tomorrow as well, we're going to start our exam review early. Okay? So we're going to start our exam review tomorrow. We're going to do that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to have a practice exam, really the first of two. And that's going to be due Monday over the weekend. So, talking more about the final exam, what am I going to be making you guys do? Well, first off, let's talk about what exactly is going to be on it. So, I am limiting our final exam to just the topics, big topics we've covered while we've been online. Nothing really before. So, this is going to include the statistics, permutation combination. I didn't write percentile, but percentile as well. We're going to have a graphing section, x squared, x cubed, absolute value of x, square root of x, everything that went with that section. I know that you guys struggle with that, and that's why we're starting review early so we can go over that stuff again. Synthetic division, we're going to do that again. Quadratic regression using our squared value Desmos to find the different values. That was the coyote problem. And then some of the random geometry 2D and 3D stuff we did. So that's what I'm going to be covering on the final exam. I have a couple different ideas as to how I'd administer it. What's probably going to happen is, never mind. I don't want to spoil anything. We'll talk about that as we get closer because I haven't fully decided yet. Anyway, statistics day 3. So today we are talking about percentiles. So what is a percentile? So without writing down a dumb long definition, let's keep it short. A percentile is the percentage of data below you. Let's say you were the first in your class. That would mean that you were at 100%. You were at the 100th percentile. Um, because 100% of the people in the class were below you. If you were at the very bottom, you would be in the 0th percentile because nobody is below you. So my professor decided to grade us based on that. So based on how you were doing in your class compared to your classmates depended on the curve you got. So if you were doing really bad and everyone else did better than you, you got basically no curve. If you were doing better, you got a higher curve. It really wasn't a good way to do things, in my opinion. It made it very weirdly competitive. Um, but anyway, that's trauma for another day. So I can tell you what, I was not the 100th percentile. Um, so let's look at an example of how you would use this. So take a second and draw this little diagram. This dot plot is showing us the number of hours per day a bunch of students spent on their phone, and each dot is representing a student. So the first thing we need to do for these percentile problems is figure out how many things are we working with. So if every dot is a student, 2 spent their 1 hour on their phone, 1 spent 2 hours on their phone, 4 spent 3 hours on their phone. So if I counted them all up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I know I have 18 students in total. So the plot shows the number of hours per day students spend on their phone. Each dot represents a student, and I have 18 students. So a question you could answer based on this is, if you used your phone for 4 hours in a day, what would be your percentile rank? So doing this is surprisingly easy. What you do is you take your total number of people, or your total number of things, and then in a division problem, over it you put the amount of people that would be below you. So if you were at number 4, How many people would be below number 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people would be below you. So my equation ends up looking like 7 out of 18. And if we put that into our calculator, we get 38.8. Now, keep in mind, I'm just multiplying this by 100%. So this would give me, well, that would round up to 38.9%. In other words, you're in the 38th percentile, which means that you're a little lower than average. So this is all well and good, except that these questions could be asked in two ways. This could be saying including the group you're in, or not including the group you're in. So I said just below 4, right? What if this question had said, if you used your phone for 4 hours, what would be you and the other people in your group's percentile rank? So that would mean you would have to include 4. So if you included, you'd still have 18 students, but you'd include 4. So that would mean if you count 4, you'd have 7 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'd have 7 plus 6. You'd have 13 out of 18 students, which would give you a different value, very different. That would give you 72.2. So that would be in the 72nd percentile, which means that if you don't include the 4s that you're in, you'd be on the lower end of the curve. If you included them, then you'd be on the upper end of the curve. So what about if you were for 5 hours? Well, we still have 18 students, right? If we're not including them, and you were in group 5, then you would count everything below 5. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that would be 13 out of 18. Actually, the same value here. That would be 72.2%. What if you, let me make 2 rows for this. Doop, 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 doop. What if you included the 5s? Well, then that would be the 13 we already counted plus the 3 for 5. So that would give us the 16 out of 18th percentile. We're really getting up there. And if we do the 16 divided by 18, we get 88.89, which would be 88.9%. We're almost at A level. And what about 2? What if you were in the second percentile? Or I'm sorry, what if you used your phone for 2 hours? Well, there's only 2 people below you. So for the original problem, that would just be 2 out of 18, which means that you would be in the 11.1th percentile. What if you included the 2s? Well, that just means 1, 2, 3. So that would only change that by 1. You'd have 3 out of 18. And that would only change your number to about 16.7. 16.7th percentile. So if that's wildly confusing to you, please reach out to me. We could set up a 15-minute Zoom meeting and I can re-explain that to you. If you're kind of following, the Google Classroom homework should really hit this home. I'll try to make this more personalized so you guys can kind of relate it to your own lives. But with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Reach out to me with any questions you have. Bye.